Alright, welcome back to this video, and on this video, as I had promised earlier, we're going to be looking at rigging of this car. I've already added quite a number of controllers, all these dummies around. These dummies are linked to several objects. I have one main dummy that is actually linked to the entire car, apart from this tire, which we're going to be linking. I have another dummy in here that is meant for the roll of the body. So this one is linked to the body of the car, whereby you can use it to wire some roll behavior over there. Then I have this one, which is the master wheel. I'm going to be using this one to control all my wheels in terms of rotation, and then there's this one here which will work on my steering. Now I've put quite a number of layers and just try to cluster them in sort of a readable way. But let me just jump to the wheel. Let me just jump to my wheel over here and just show you how that whole thing should work here. So I have the wheel hub, or just the brake disc, and then I have this helper dummy there, then the wheel, then this dummy here. Then so I isolate that, and this is what I have. So I need to link my tire to this dummy so that this dummy controls the rotation of the tire. Then this dummy, the wheel rotation dummy, I'm going to link it to the brake disc dummy, so that if I steer the car, the brake disc will actually move with the wheel, or rather the wheel will move with the brake disc, but when rotating it won't rotate with the wheel. So I link my tire, which is grouped actually, to this one here. Then this one I link it to my disc there, so that now if I were to rotate this one here, and I'm using gimbal so that I can look at the reference coordinates nicely. There we are, so that you notice the brake disc is really not moving. Then if I were to come in here and steer the wheel, you notice, well, it's steering. We've not linked the brake disc to that, so we need to come in and link our brake disc to link our brake disc to that, so that now should I steer these, everything moves in unison, but when I rotate, it's only the wheel that does rotate. So that is working fine. So this one, now we need to link it to the dummy of the main body of the car. So let me add that, and I need to link it to this one, which is the main car body. So come and select this one and link it to the brake disc, and link it to this one, so that now if I select the main car dummy, main one, and move, the entire car moves. If I come in here and rotate this, it's working. And if I come in here and select the dummy there, yes, that's working. So I've done the same for all the other wheels. The rotation here, I just linked it to the body, that, and isolate. So only linked it to this, so that now it works on the roll of the car. So then I linked it to the main body of the car. So now, how do we link all these? First of all, let me start with the tires. I'm going to be using wire parameters just to get the tires rotating, and having a master over here. I didn't want to go each tire, just making a simple rig. So what I'll do is I'll come in and check on the rotation coordinates. I'm using gimbal, and I come here and see, along these I can see it's along Z axis. So rotating along Z right there. Then I come to this one, rotate it, and notice it's actually along Z. Alright. So now that I have that, this one also, yep, Z, and this guy here, you have to check, because at times they are flipped. Now I'll have to come up here and now check on this one here, my the master wheel, and rotate that and see it's rotating along Y. Okay, it's no problem, we're still going to be using it. So we are going to be using wire parameters for that. So let me see. So if I were to come in here and hide everything else, and I need my wheel controls and hide everything else, even the brake discs. So now what I'm having are these controls over here, and what I need to do is wire this to this. This one is rotating along Y, this one is rotating along Z. So let me wire those. So I'll come in here and say wire parameters, transform rotation Y to these guys, transform rotation Z. Then it's the master that should control the wheel here. So click on that and connect. Now don't close this. So now if I rotate this one, now you notice there is a problem. The wheel is rotating in reverse. Okay, so what I need to do is come here to the expression itself, and in front of the Y just add a minus over there, so negative, then update, and then when we rotate, you notice now they are rotating in the same direction. So I'm going to do that for all the wheels, all of them. So same case, come back here, wire, transform rotation Y to these guys, transform rotation Z, and it's the master that is controlling this. And as we had discovered earlier, just put a minus there and just connect and check, and you can see now we're good. So same with this other side. So come here to wire, transform rotation Y to these guys here, transform rotation Z. I'll actually just put a minus there, then it's this one, master, then connect. That's fine. Finally come to this guy, transform rotation Y to these ones, transform rotation Z, put a negative there and connect. And I should think now that our tires are actually turning nicely. So let me unhide all the other things, actually just the car itself, the rally car. Yeah. So now we just have the rally car, and now notice there are our wheels turning with the master nicely. Okay, so I need to check also on this other side so that I'm sure of what we are doing. Yep. And there they are, working wonderfully. So next thing I need to do, let me unhide all and maybe work on the roll, then the steering, the roll, then the steering. So I'll have to come in here and decide body roll. Yeah, then I come in here and I'll need this one. I'll use a reaction manager, but before I use the reaction manager, I need to limit how far this moves. And let me first of all hide the car and the wheels. So I just need to limit this first. So I'll use a float limit for this one here. So in terms of position, I'm still using gimbal here, and I can see it's along x-axis. So let me come and check here. This is better. Let me use the front view. So along the x-axis here, and actually I created this rectangle. Make sure it's not a rectangle, it's actually a square. See, the length and the width are the same, 20-20, and I aligned this one to this one's pivot by simply selecting it, coming here to align, and clicked on that, align on XYZ right there. So all I need to do is, and I linked these now to this, make sure you link now this, link to that, and this one is linked to the main car body, so they move together. Now I need to limit these so that it actually works on our roll. So I'll select it, you can see it's the x-axis, and then I come here and look at the position here. My position X is what I want to work on. Okay, then I come in here and look for a float limit. Okay, now all it's asking for are the limits. How far should it go? So I'll just move it along X up to when it touches my rectangle here. Then I check the X-axis here, which is 6 point something something. I pick that and I copy, and I come here and paste it there. And since this is a box, I can still paste the same over here, but this time round I give it a negative value for the lower one, negative value, so that now if I were to move these along the X-axis, you notice it doesn't go beyond the boundaries over here, stays within. Okay. So I'll actually have to do the same for take this one back to 0 for my Y-axis going up. So I'll come to my Y-axis, introduce a float limit, and limit my Y-axis. So I'll just bring these up all the way there. Then come to my Y-axis, pick this, copy, come in here and paste. Should essentially be the same. Then come in here and paste this one here and just put a negative value over there. And now you'll notice it cannot go beyond that. So for the Z-axis, I just put another float limit. There's another way of doing this, but let me just use this. So I put 0, 0, so that along the Z-axis, this one does not move anywhere. Okay, it doesn't go anywhere. Even for rotation, if you wish, you could still do the same, just so that the animator or whoever is animating does not, we could have frozen the rotation. Anyway. So that the only way you can move these is just by moving it wherever now you decide that the animator is going to use that axis. But for now, let me leave it at that for now. So now that we have that, we know that it's not going to move anywhere now. You cannot move it along the Z-axis. You can only move it along the X and the Y, and you can only move it within the boundaries of this. So let me take it to 0. 0 is centered. Now I need now to link that to a reaction manager with this one here. So I'll have to come here and get my Rallycar nicely over there. That's okay. And then I'll use a reaction manager for this. I'll have to use a reaction manager. So I come here to animation, reaction manager, so open that, and then it asks for the master. The master is this one here. So along the Y-axis, we want it to roll from side to side. So I'll come in here and click on this here, add master. Then you need to pick this one, and you say the roll transform position. Okay, X position. The limited controller is what we need, because you can even go deeper and get the upper and the lower limit, but all we need is the limited controller. So click on that. Then we need to add now these as the slave, these helper there. So I could come in here and click on this add slave and pick that one there, transform. It's rotating along which now we need to check. So come here, check on that. I'm using gimbal, and yeah, along Y-axis, along the Y-axis. So I come here, pick this, transform, rotation Y. Okay, then create mode. Okay, then you come in here now with this one on. You come in here and actually say that when this one is on this side, how far should the body roll? So I come here and roll the body, how far I would want it to go. So maybe up to a point there. I don't want to take it too far, maybe somewhere there. That's okay. Then use this create mode. Then again move it in the opposite direction. So usually just move it in the opposite direction. Alright, then this one, okay, along Y it is minus 13.4. So why don't I put 13.4? Okay, so I put 13.4. 0.4, so that, oopsie, no, that, ladies and gentlemen, is position, which is not a very good idea. That is position. Yep, so I think up to there, yes. So I need to go to rotation. Yes, it's -4. Let me just copy it. So I copy that, and even just remove the minus here. Actually, just remove the minus so that it moves to the opposite direction. And create mode now again. Create mode, and then we just remove this. Then we test it out to see whether it's going to behave. So there. Now we have the car rolling from side to side nicely. So let's check on this side. Yeah, that's okay. That is fine. Alright, so now that we have that, I think we need now work on the coming front down and up, down and up. So again, this one is along the y-axis, and this one should be along the x-axis. So this y, this x, rotation. I think so. Should think so. So come in here and pick this one here and say transform position y. Okay, limited over there. Right there. Then for the slave, we add this one. Transform rotation x. Then create movement. Then we decide, okay, when this one is up there, this one should actually rotate that way. I don't want to take it very far. So that is along axis minus 9 point. Let me just copy it anyway so that I use it. Then I create mode for that one. Then I bring this one down. Bring this one there, and for this one, we come to its rotation, and along x, we just put a minus anyway in front here, so that we have equal movement. So right there, and I think it's too much, but anyway, create mode, and there we are. So now, if we test it out, notice we are having that. Right, so I can close this. Now, should we play around with this area, the center? Now you notice we're having some pretty bad suspension there, but it's working. There we are. Now that we have that, the steering is what is next. So we need some steering over there, so that we can be able to steer this vehicle. So I'll come in and hide, come to my layers and steering control and brake discs. Let me leave them, even the wheels, not wheel, but the discs, because they are the ones that are going to control that movement. So let me hide the body roll. So this one also, I create a limit first. I'm going to create a limit for this one in terms of how far it goes in rotation along the Z axis. So I come in here and go to the assign controller, rotation, Z axis, and I put a float limit. Okay, now how far should this thing go? So I'm using gimbal here, so I just bring it all the way there, and along Z I can see it's around 22 point something. So I'll just copy that and I paste it here as the upper limit. I paste, and even the lower limit I paste and put a negative value there, which is fine. That's okay. That's fine. So let's test it out and see. Yeah, it's reaching up to a certain point. That's okay. That is fine. So now that we have that, close that. You can limit the others. Either way you freeze them anyway, but since we are, so let me get that, and maybe this one here. So float limit 0, 0. Okay, so now you can't rotate it anywhere else apart from the Z axis, which is fine. Now let's link it now to this here, to our discs. So we are still going to use Reaction Manager, which I find very easy to work with. So I'll have to come in here and say Animation Reaction Manager. Then I come in here and add a master, which is these guys. No, not that guy, not that guy, sorry. So add a master, and I'm going to add these yes, steering, yes, transform rotation Z limited controller. Then for the slaves, I'm actually going to add these ones here, which I need to check what axis. Yeah, the Z axis also. So I'm going to select them, both of them, both of these discs, both that and this one. And once I've selected both of them, I can easily come in here and click on this one, add selected. Okay, transform rotation Z also. Okay, so now I need to create a mode. I need to move this one all the way to its limit there. Then we need to come here and rotate these ones in a fashion we like. Maybe that way, maybe not somewhere there. So that is check on that. Yep, no bad. It's, I can copy this and also paste it on this one here. So come here, rotation, and let me paste it here and see. Oopsie, went all the way, but let me just come and move this one across also nicely. Manually just moving them. Yep, that's okay with me. Up to a point there, that's fine with me. That's fine. So I create a mode, then come back here and do this. Then this one here, select this one here and remove the minus over there. Hit enter. Oops, that's still giving me headache. So let me throw it back to minus and just do that. It's reaction manager, so it will work. And this one here now, select this one, now needs to face this direction. So yep, so how far? A little bit more so that you can actually see the steering over there nicely. That's too much, so I think somewhere there is okay with me. And just create mode. So remove that and close this, and let's see what we've just done with our nice and lovely steering. So should I come in here and do that, you'll notice my tires are turning nicely. My tires are working perfectly now. We can rotate them this way, that way. Okay, so now we do have almost everything working. Let me unhide the main and these others. And once we move the main, everything goes, yeah, that's quite okay. Now and our roll works, and our steering works, and our rotation of the wheel works. Right. Now we could do some small animations, which let me just jump into it. Look at some expressions.